Her name was Emily Rhodes. That's what she told me the first night we met, over bourbon and jazz in a lounge that barely stayed alive past midnight. She had that effortless kind of beauty. Cheekbones like secrets, eyes the color of storm clouds, and a laugh that made you forget what hour it was. I was hooked fast. Too fast. The kind of fast that feels like flying but ends in a crash. She said she was a freelance graphic designer. Worked from home. Liked vintage books, slow Sundays and rainy mornings. We started dating within a week. She moved in within 2 months. And I never questioned a thing. Not even when she dodged questions about her past. Not even when she refused to let me meet her family. It's complicated, she'd say with that practiced smile. My parents and I aren't close. I bought the story. Because I wanted it to be true. Because after 2 years of loneliness and failed relationships, Emily felt like the first chapter of a different kind of life. Until the text message. It came on a Thursday afternoon. She was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I wasn't trying to snoop, I was looking for my watch. But the name on the screen caught my eye. Can't talk now, Ava. I'll call you later. Ava, I frowned. I'd never heard her called that before. I chalked it up to a friend, maybe a nickname. But later that night when I asked, she didn't blink. I don't know any Ava, she said. Lied to my face. Like she did it all the time. That's when the seed was planted. The suspicion. I didn't act on it right away. You don't want to believe the person you love is lying to you. You convince yourself you imagined it. That you're being paranoid, that it was nothing. But once you see the crack in the glass, you can't unsee it. I started noticing other things. She always turned her laptop away when I walked into the room. She never answered calls around me. She kept a small locked box in her closet. Something she never used but never got rid of either. One night I stayed up late. She'd gone to bed early, said she had a headache. I heard her whispering on the phone in the bathroom. I crept closer. Heard one word, just one. Landon. My blood ran cold. I didn't know any Landon. She'd never mentioned one. Was it an ex? Brother? Or was it her real name? The next day I asked her. Casually. Hey, who's Landon? Her eyes flickered. Just for a second. Then the lie came. Oh, he's just an old coworker. Why? That was the moment I made the call. I didn't want to be the guy who spies on his girlfriend. But I couldn't keep pretending. His name was Sean Calvert, ex-cop. Now a private investigator with a grizzled voice and eyes like granite. He didn't ask many questions. Just took her full name, Emily Rhodes, and a photo. I'll be in touch, he said, lighting a cigarette with fingers that looked like they'd been broken more than once. 3 days passed. Then he called. Got something? My heart kicked. Emily Rhodes doesn't exist, he said. What do you mean? I ran the name. No license. No credit history. No social security activity under that name for the last 15 years. At least not connected to her face. I was silent. She's using a fake identity, he said. The name's a cover. You're living with someone who doesn't legally exist. I sat down. Who is she? That's what we're gonna find out. The next week was hell. While she went about her days, cooking dinner, smiling, kissing me like nothing was wrong, I waited for Sean's updates. I started looking at her like a stranger. Noticing how perfectly constructed her life seemed. Like a stage set. Then came the break. Sean called. Her real name is Isabel Marin. Born in Pennsylvania. Changed her name 5 years ago after she disappeared from a corporate scandal in Chicago. Disappeared. She worked for a financial firm. There was a whistleblower case. Someone leaked data about illegal money transfers. The company went down. So did 3 executives. Isabel was never charged, but she vanished. And you're sure it's her? We matched the photos. It's her. I waited until Friday night. She came home late. I watched her. Really watched her. She was flawless. Too flawless. I have a question, I said. Okay. Who's Isabel Marin? She froze. For the first time since I met her. I saw fear. Where did you hear that name? You lied to me, I said quietly. About your name. About everything. She sat down. I can explain. Then start. She told me everything. 5 years ago she worked for a financial firm called Halper and Wright. She discovered executives were laundering money, millions, offshore. She wanted to report it. But she was young. Just a data analyst. They threatened her. One even followed her home. He panicked, so she leaked the data anonymously. Then ran. Changed her name. Built a new life. I never meant to lie to you, she said. But once I started, how could I tell you the truth without losing you? I sat there in silence. She looked up at me. Eyes wet. Do you believe me? That was the hardest question anyone had ever asked me. I didn't leave her that night. We stayed up. She showed me documents. Proof. Emails. Bank statements. The danger had been real. She'd been scared for her life. The firm had ties to people in places she couldn't risk crossing. She'd built our relationship on a lie. 4 weeks after, I was a ghost. Moving through the apartment like a man watching his own life through glass. I didn't know what to believe. So I called Sean one last time. Follow her again, I said. Make sure there's nothing else. 3 days later he called back. You're not gonna like this. What is it? She's been meeting someone. A man. Older. Once in a parking garage. Once in a cafe. No contact, just drops something, walks away. Like what? Envelopes. My stomach turned. Got photos. You'll want to see them. The photos were clear. There she was, my Emily or Isabel or whoever, handing off a sealed envelope to a man in a gray coat. Same man both times. Same spot. I confronted her again. She didn't lie this time. He's a reporter, she said. I've been helping him finish what I started. The story isn't over. There are more names, more corruption. Why didn't you tell me? Because I didn't want to put you in danger. He was crying now. Real tears. But I couldn't feel them. Couldn't feel anything but the hollow space where trust used to be. That night I walked down empty streets. Past bars and neon lights. Thought about love. About lies. About the people we choose to believe. She had her reasons. Good ones. Maybe even noble ones. But I'd never know if she told me everything. And I couldn't live like that. When I came home she was waiting. I'm leaving, I said. She nodded. I loved you, she said. I still do, I replied. But I can't love someone I don't know. I moved out the next morning. Packed what I could. Left the keys on the counter. She didn't try to stop me. Didn't cry. Just watched from the hallway, barefoot in silence, her face unreadable. Days turned into weeks. I changed my number. Deleted our photos. Burned the journal I'd started writing about us. Tried to unlearn her laugh, her voice, her scent on my clothes. But she lingered like a ghost, haunting the quiet. One night I came home drunk and found myself Googling her real name again. Isabel Marin. Nothing new. No arrests. No news. No obituary. Just silence. I didn't hear from Sean Calvert again. Until 2 months later. He called me out of nowhere. You got a minute? What is it? I think you should know your girl. She's in the wind. She's gone. Cleared out her place. Wiped her online presence. He's done this before, remember. She's good at it. Why now? That's the weird part. The reporter she was meeting? He's dead. My blood froze. They found him 2 days ago. Car crash off a bridge in New Jersey. Police said it was an accident. But I've seen cleaner hits. And you think she? I don't know, he said. But I'd stay away. I hung up, heart pounding. It took me 3 days to work up the courage to open the files. Sean helped. We met in a dingy diner on the edge of town. His laptop had security programs most government agencies would envy. The drive contained spreadsheets, internal emails, voice recordings. Names I recognized, politicians, CEOs, hedge fund billionaires. Offshore bank routes. It was massive. She sat on this? Sean muttered. This could take down half of Wall Street. She was scared. She had reason to be. I sent the drive to the journalist she named. An old-school reporter in Baltimore, known for surviving 2 assassination attempts and never folding under pressure. The story broke 10 days later. Global finance ring exposed by anonymous whistleblower. Offshore empire built on corruption, laundering, and murder. DOJ and Interpol launch full investigations. The reporter didn't name his source. The fallout was nuclear. Executives resigned. Politicians denied involvement. One guy jumped from a hotel balcony in Miami. The rest lawyered up. But Isabel, or Emily, was nowhere. No sightings. No arrests. No message. It was like she never existed. Then came Paris. I was in France for a business conference 6 months later. Still walking around with her ghost in my chest. I just stepped out of a bookstore when I saw her. Red scarf. Oversized sunglasses, blonde now. My heart stopped. I followed. She turned into a cafe, ordered tea. Sat alone by the window. I stood across the street, hidden by the crowd. Watching. And then she looked up. Directly at me. And smiled. Just once. Not a wave. Not a greeting. Just a flicker of something old and real and final. Then she turned back to her tea, and I never saw her again. I never told anyone. Not Sean, not my friends. Not the journalist. That moment in Paris was mine. Sometimes I wonder if she was really there. My mind made her up. If I'd finally cracked from the weight of loving a woman made of lies and fire and grace. But deep down, I know it was her. I imagine she's living quietly now. Maybe in Morocco. Or Barcelona. Maybe she changes names like clothes. Maybe she still looks over her shoulder at night. Or maybe she finally found peace. I've dated since. Nothing serious. Nothing lasting. No one who smelled like rain or made jazz sound dangerous. Sometimes I still get anonymous emails. Blank subject lines. Links to breaking news. Corruption scandals. Company leaks. Sometimes I wonder if she's still out there watching the powerful tremble. Still fighting. Still thinking of me. And sometimes late at night I write her letters I never send. Just in case she ever stops running. Just in case she ever comes home.